Tuen, a new town in northwest New Territories, home for nearly 500,000 people and a significant part of Hong Kong fishery history. Having a glance in this place, busy roads, tall concrete buildings, people passing by, it seems that this town has no relations with fishery. But hints can be found in this Mouse Island children's playground. Mouse Island was originally in the middle of the bay. The little hill behind was on the island at that time. After reclamation in 1980s, it was integrated as part of land for residential use, and government built its park as memorial. The bay here is called Castle Peak Bay. It was a natural refuge harbor. Dated back to the Yuan dynasty, there were already people fishing and farming here. From 1930s to 1970s, there were many tanker fishermen living here and built up a fisherman village. Some of them lived on boats, while others lived in squatter huts by the seaside. The village was then renamed as Sam Shing Ho. The fishermen usually fished in Longgu Tan and Sogun Wood. With better vessels and fishing equipment, they might even fish in Guangdong Province and Hainan. We interviewed a past fisherman, Miss Chow, who harbored in Castle Peak Bay in late 60s to 70s. She shared with us her childhood as a young fisherman and some extraordinary experience when she was on board.
你係幾多歲開始喺船上面？
基本上咧，我係出世嗰兩日喺落着喺上喺街，即係我哋叫街嘅。係出世兩日喺街之外咧，就基本咧已經喺住㗎啦。由至到幾歲都喺住嗰度生活嘅。洗下嘢啊，煮下整下嘢，煮下飯嗰啲咯，湊下隻僆仔咯，做幾年就係咁嘅。跟住就到11歲咧，就讀嗰2、3年書。跟住讀到我4年班咁上下啦，就開咗船。開咗船咧，大約係年零啦。跟住就跟我家姐去翻工，我又跟埋去翻工。所以嗰陣時見工嗰陣時，我係15歲。
Other than helping her father, she also worked in factories to earn more for her family.
咁就跟住就冇做啦，因為因咩事冇做咧？就我大家姐要結婚，咁咧就即係我而家姐同大家姐都結婚，所以咧我就出海，就幫我阿爸走，跟唔住咯。咁你開船，嗰個過程咧有開心有唔開心咯。
咁有咩係令你最開心咧喺船上面？
我覺得係最開心就係冇網管咯，自由自在，好舒服咯，即係好似望住個海咧，即係好舒服。有陣時唔開心就好悶，同埋好辛苦，因為有陣時都係我哋啲拖，有陣時喺一個季節嘅，有陣時係拖夜晚，就一晚咧就要搞好多次網嘅，係單仔嘢。我就錄季節嘢啦，因為我船咧，我同我爸爸初開嗰陣時咧，我都有幫手嘅，即係兩兄弟，我同埋我爸爸，我阿媽咧就喺街就睇住嗰啲細佬妹，因為團契，咁咧有3個伙計，有陣時爭到人哋4個伙計，咁我有陣時我都唔知，不知不覺我就會叫啲伙計做嘢㗎啦。我話呢個做乜，嗰個做乜，總係自己幫手做咯。揸下欄啊，揸下機器咁子咯。
有冇一次好驚險嘅？
嗱我喺隔離嚇，即係我哋拖緊嘅，有親戚，我阿伯，又有朋友，即係好多拖船，好多隊，起有2隻，起有2隻，起有2隻，我哋有2隻。我哋同佢咧就望唔到艇，就 over 機咧就會嗌到嘅，即係大海就望唔到間嘅， 艇都望唔到嘅。佢又發生一件好驚天動地嘅嘢。有幾單，講咗過去嗰單先啦。點解咧？因為我都冇懷疑㗎，大家車埋灣頭咧，佢個艇所有嘢全部爛晒。點解？佢無啦啦個天黑黑掹掹，天好似夜晚嘅黑掹掹，跟住咧黑掹掹咧就中間好似有一隻眼咁嘅，眨下嘅彩色嘅。跟住咧對兩隻船咧，條欄咧冇搞啊嘛，拖緊網咁嘛，條欄喺度啦，兩隻船喺度欄，一張網冇搞，咁咧連隔離都嗌唔到噶啦，over 機都嗌唔到，全部干擾晒。咁兩隻船咧轉咗，應該唔係兩隻係幾隻，連我八嗰啲船都係捲埋上去，好似龍捲風轉上去。好在兩條欄咧冇搞起，如果唔係咧就揾唔翻對方嘅艇㗎啦已經。所有嘢爛晒，啲網啊全部喺大海，天眼咁。
Miss Chow told us that every time they went fishing, they would pray to Tin Hao for safety and also pray to Dragon King for more catches. Tin Hao or Mazu is the Chinese goddess of the sea who is said to protect fishermen and sailors. There are 2 Tin Hao temples in Castle Peak Bay. Miss Chow said at her time as a fisherman, she and her colleagues would gather together to worship Tin Hao in various occasions, like the birthday of Tin Hao. They usually went to the Tin Hao temple opposite Samshing Estate. In the early 80s, the new territories were developed and it changed the fishermen village in Tuen. The houses of fishermen were removed for reclamation, and the typhoon shelter was relocated. The fishermen were encouraged to leave their boats and they started to work on shore. Miss Chow was one of them, and since then she sold her boat to the government and never sailed in Castle Peak Bay again. With the reclaimed land, the government has started to develop Tuen as a new town. A lot of industrial buildings, public estates, and other infrastructure were built. To settle the fishermen, flats were provided for them in the newly constructed Samshing Estate, and the names of the blocks indicate their close tie to the fishery. There is one called Feng Yu House, which means abandoned fishery. This rock behind Samshing Estate marked the original shoreline before reclamation, but now it is about 0.2 kilometers away from the coast. There are only busy roads, schools, and residential buildings. It is hard to see the shoreline from here. Walk across the residential area, we can finally reach to the new seafront and there is a big seafood market along Samshing Street. The seafood market here is comprised of a number of retail stores and seafood restaurants. Many local residents and tourists go there to buy fresh and quality seafood. There is a wide variety to choose, like groupers, lobsters, shrimps, crabs, razor clams, and different kinds of shellfish. We are glad to talk to the owner of a seafood store, Mr. Lau. His store has opened for more than 10 years, and there are many regular customers. In the past, they sold seafood mainly supplied by local fishermen, but now only a small portion is from them, and the rest is imported from all around the world. Mr. Lau told us that there are fishermen at the pier selling seafood which are caught by themselves, and suggested us to have a look. At the shore, we saw lots of boats moored along the quay, and there are several big fishing vessels. This fisherman was selling their catch and she kindly invited us to get on their vessel to have a look. We were also allowed to go inside the vessel to discover how fishermen live and work on board. There are water tanks to store the catch in order to keep them alive and fresh before they are sold. There is a little but well-equipped kitchen with rice cookers and refrigerator. That is the toilet, and it has a shower inside. Fresh water is stored for drinking and washing, and next to it is the place for worship. Getting to the inner part of the vessel, there are 4 little bedrooms, where the fishermen rest and sleep. On the upper deck is the control panel of the vessel. Outside the control room, there are more huge water buckets to store fresh water, and some fishing equipment is stored here. Mr. Chang, the ship owner, shared with us the past and present of being a fisherman that harbored in Castle Peak Bay. He was only a child before reclamation.
填海之前同填海之後有咩？或者睇你哋有咩影響？
你填海嗰陣時，你知唔知啊？我幾歲大，貓同我釣魚，翻一個起記嘅，嗰間欄都仲喺度嗰個起記嗰度，你釣魚喎，釣到幾廿蚊魚啦，跟住我哋就飲茶啦，幾廿蚊喺度喎，飲埋茶食下多士啊食，我嗰個生活真係。
Mr. Chang said he missed the old days. It was free and easy. He did not have to face any financial pressure of being a fisherman. We then asked about his livelihood at the present time.
海嘅嗱，今日賣晒嘢，如果價錢好嘅，如果賣得5、6千蚊嘅，我哋都會繼續出海嘅。喺個風浪我睇收埋天氣啊，如果天氣好，我哋一定會出嘅，因為我哋都兩公婆出嘅啫。
Mr. Chang added that he cannot earn much and did not want his children to be fishermen, because he does not have much hope in the future development of Hong Kong fishery industry.
呢度遲早識微，就你唔收你唔近海都會識微。其實我對呢行好有信心㗎，因為點解咧？你唔好貪就得㗎啦，即係揾兩餐，夠食，夠維持開支就夠，千祈唔好貪。
Fishery in Hong Kong is certainly declining. What can we do to preserve our precious marine heritage and protect the fishermen? Walking along the Groyan, we are pondering.